let's look at the difference between 15 and 50, right? So let's say this one, and let's write it out this way, 15 and 50. Okay, you want to say those two words for me?
15, 50.
Good. Now, tell me, what is the difference between them? There's a clear, obvious, and simple difference.
The stress in the first word, the stress goes to, so the sound is longer. 15.
Where? Okay, so it's here at the end?
15, yeah, it's here.
Okay, it's on the end.
And in
okay.
50, it's 50.
Where's
so
the stress?
50. So is in the second word, it's on the first I. 50.
Okay, so it's the first syllable. So what you're doing is you're saying, it sounds to me like you were trying to guess at like, well, 50. If I say 50 or 15, but basically what I want to say, what was wrong there? It's not that you need to. It's not that I want you to say 50 quickly. I don't want you to say this quickly. I just want you to change the syllable stress.
50.
Yes. So don't say it quickly. Just because, do you see how when you change the syllable stress, you change the word clearly? 15, 50.
Okay. 15,
okay.
50.
Good. So let's go ahead and do this for all of those words. Let's do, starting here, and I'll just write them down if you want to practice starting to say them for me. Go ahead.
13, 30. 14, 40. 16, 60. 17, 70.
Go ahead.
18, 80.
Yes. And then one more.
19, 90.
Yes, 90. Okay. All right, good. So now I'm going to ask you to do it again. I'm going to really listen. That was your warm up. Okay. Start from the top and go ahead. Let's do this. Let's do for fun. This is always a nice way to practice when you're working on like some kind of contrast, right? So we can start first down the left column, then down the right column, then left, right, left, right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Try
Sure.
to make it
sure.
try to make it like music, right? 15, 13, 14, and see if you could just kind of create a rhythm for yourself. Go ahead.
15, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
And 50, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 70, 80, 90.
Yes, now stop there for a second. Good. So when you do something like this, also really stick with the rhythm between the words too, so that you're constantly reinforcing the pause. Okay. So, right, 15, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? And then when you get to the other side, you want to make sure that that first syllable, you're really using that melody, 50, 30, 40. So I want you to try the right side again.
The right side.
Yep.
50, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90.
Yes. And sometimes what happens, sometimes what happens when we do an exercise or even when we give a presentation, we start out and things are going well, and then all of a sudden we kind of just, oh, I got this, and then all of a sudden we pick up the speed or we lose the intention. Now I thought it sounded fine, but just to let you know, that happens a lot. When we get towards the end of something, sometimes we either get quiet or we lose our diction or we forget about the melody, right? So things start to happen towards the end. Now I want you to go left, right, left, right.
15, 50, 13, 30, 14, 40, 16, 60, 17, 70, 18, 80, 19, 90.
Good. Now I want you to just imagine, I want you to say, in 1880, just say in 1880, can you say that?
In 1880.
Yeah, so so in other words, the year in 1880, right? We were sailing around the world, right? So whatever, right? So and so in is a reduced word. Today we're going to talk about which words have more value than others, right? So in 1880, we sailed around the world. Just say that.
In 1880, we sailed around the world.
In 1880, we sailed around the world.
In 1880, we sailed around the world.
Right. In 1990, we traded spices.
In 1990, we traded spices.
Yeah, so in 1440, the king reigned. In 1440.
In 1440, the king
reigned. Do you know that word? When he was in power.
Reigned. Yeah. When he was in power. Yeah.
Yeah. Try it again. In 1440.
In 14. Okay. One more. In 1440, the king reigned.
Right. The king reigned.
The king reigned.
Right. So that those words, those nouns, those verbs, those adjectives, they have to have that link. That's why I'm saying it's not the king reigned, it's the king reigned.
King reigned.
In 1440, the king reigned. In
1440, the king reigned.
Good. So you can play with this, but the important thing is that you really commit to the stressed syllable, right? So in 1440, right? So that it's not, so that it doesn't become confusing. How do you use numbers at all when you're giving reports or you're talking about statistics related to the job?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
Can you give me an example? Is anything easy come to you quickly that you might be able to just kind of say for a minute or so?
For instance, with our tool, you can decrease your manual work time. I don't know, in comparison with our tool, you can decrease your manual time for 10 hours a week.
Now, see, I couldn't understand what that number was. It was 14. It was 14. I mean, I know it was probably 14, not 40. But so tell me that again. And this time, I want you to hit the pauses between the ideas. Okay, so that by the time you get to the number, your brain is working for you.
Okay, so when using our tool, you can decrease your manual work time to 10 hours a day.
Oh, I want to hear that other number.
To 10 hours.
I thought you said 14 hours.
14. Okay. So with our tool, you can decrease your manual work time to 14 hours a day.
To 14 hours a day.
Hours a week. A week, let's say a week. Yeah.
To 40 or 14?
14.
Oh, you can reduce. Okay, so now let's back up. Okay, so with our tool, so I need you to write. One of the things we're going to talk about is the focus word. So what are we supposed to do on the focus word to make sure it stands out?
They are longer and louder.
Right, and they have more gliding.
Yeah.
Right, more melody.
With our tool. With our tool, you can decrease your manual work time to 14 hours a week.
To 14 hours a week.
Again, I hear that it was 14.
Yeah.
So with our tool, you can decrease manual work time to 14 hours a week.
To 14 hours a week.
To 14 hours a week.
Yes, nice. Okay. You feel it, you can hear it, right?
Yeah, I hear it. I hear the difference. Yeah.
Now, sometimes, right, we might want that 4 to stand out instead of the 7, right? So 17 versus 14.
Okay.
You see how, so I say 17, versus 14. So I'm just changing to the, well, because maybe you thought it was 17 hours, but I'm telling you, no, it's not 17. It's 14.
Okay, I get it.
When you get into a clarification, right?
Okay.
Okay, good. Any other questions about this, or anything else you'd like to practice?
Do you have any practice examples that I can practice on my own? Like this one?
Well, I mean, this is really what I do related to 14 and 50. But I mean, I guess the other thing to do is to even just look for. I don't have anything off the top of my head. Now you're making me think it's a good idea to write something. But even if you just practice, even if you look for reading passages relating to numbers, or for example, if you go and you read, let's say, the stock exchange, go find today's, how are the stocks today? You're going to see a lot of percentages. You're going to hear a lot of ups and downs. And so you might find some numbers there. Okay. I mean, I know you will. But that's something for sure. And then anything related to, gross domestic profits of countries, or right, anything where you're reading about statistics.
Okay.
And I'll do a quick look as well for a 14 versus 40 practice. All right, great. Great. So let's come over here then. Now, tell me, did you have a chance to work with the simplicity passage at all?
Yes, okay. I did. Do you mind if I share my screen now?
Yes, let me get out here and let me give you the sharing option. 1 second, I have to give it to you. People. Okay, so you are now the host. So you should be able to share your screen.
Because I have, first of all, it still sounds horrifying. I don't know, it sounds horrible, although I tried a lot. But I have several questions, and I can try to practice with you again and get a feedback.
This is marvelous. I'm in love with what you did here.
So what I tried to find focus words. I tried to find structure words and content words. I tried to mark
the direction of
emphasis inside of words, because it's like unnecessary. And again, I remember about prioritize.
Yes.
Let
me clarify. Hold on. Let me clarify about prioritize. The thing about prioritize is that you have two vowels next to each other that are different syllables. So the stress is not on the RI, it's on the OR.
Prioritize. So it's
So you can make that RI small and the OR can be, see, so it's not one syllable. It's not Rio, it's prior. And the R is large.
Prioritize. Okay.
There you go. And then just change your little note there. Yeah. So wow, this is marvelous. I need to take a screenshot and maybe post it somewhere for people to see what a marvelous job somebody did. Okay.
Again, the question, I've found the answer, but my question was about, for instance, unnecessary junk. I know that when there is a compound noun, we stress the second word. Yes, would in this case, for instance,
would it be
junk? Yes, unnecessary. Is there a bunch of unnecessary junk?
Yes. And you're calling them compound nouns. I call them word partnerships. So this idea of words together that are one thing, we always look for the first noun in the pair. So if it's unnecessary is an adjective, junk is your noun. Unnecessary junk. So that's the rule. Where is the first noun in the pair? Great, nice job.
And ask yourself about the things you keep collecting. Things or collecting? Or it depends on what you want to emphasize. Or it depends on.
Try it both ways for me. I want you to see what it feels like.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Okay. Now do it the other way.
And ask yourself So ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Okay, which one?
The second option sounds more natural for me.
It does, yes, that's
okay.
great.
So collecting is the
you
correct
can feel
option.
that, right? So that's just a feeling. That's why when you say it out loud. Now, did you say this out loud before, or is this the first time you're saying it out loud?
No, I've practiced.
Okay,
I've practiced.
Okay. Now let's just talk about that line for a moment, okay? Ask yourself about things you keep collecting. So you only have one word. The is the only word that's not bold. Why do you have all those bold words? Tell me why. Explain it to me.
I struggled with the sentence about finding content and structure words.
Okay. So we know that the content words are what parts of speech?
Nouns, verbs, content words, numerals, adjectives, adverbs.
Adverbs. Let's just stop there.
Question
and the
words,
WH,
probably.
yes, and the WH, yes. So ask, what part of speech is it?
It's a verb.
So we'll keep that. Yourself, what is that?
That's a problem. Yourself. It's an adjective.
It's not an adjective. No, it's a pronoun. Not an adjective.
It's a pronoun.
Let's take it out.
So, okay.
The word about. What is it? In, on, over, about, below. Preposition.
Preposition.
Let's take it out.
I need to, yeah. So
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? You know the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, right? And the WH question. Okay. So if the word about is, if it's not a verb and not a noun, not an adjective, right? Then you know that it goes in the other category. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the great things. Okay. You. What is that?
You.
That's is it an information word? Is it a noun or a verb or an adjective or an adverb?
No, it's not a noun and a verb.
So let's take it out.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that once in a while or for the right reason, you wouldn't emphasize a pronoun. You know, if I say, well, it's not me, it's him, right? I'm not, I'm not talking about me. I would never do that, right? So, okay. So now here's the thing. What you're working on here is a technique called scripting. It's one thing. It's one thing for you to say, hey, I'm going to go here and I'm going to bold all of the information words because I want to know what they are. That's great. Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting. No problem. Read that for me.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Okay, fine, great, perfect. Now, you could also decide, and that's what I did with the simplicity passage, that I'm only gonna bold maybe a couple of words, not all of the information words. Because even though all of the information words are gonna have contrast from those structured words, you're gonna have that. But if you have too many of those words bolded, you might miss the opportunity to highlight the focus word and maybe one other word. So let me ask you, in this case, if you were gonna choose one other word that you wanted to highlight in this phrase, which one would it be?
Things.
Okay, so unbold, ask, unbold, keep, and let's hear that. Let's try.
Ask yourself. Okay, so ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Now, don't pause after things because this is one thought chunk. It means you have to keep moving. Go ahead.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Right. Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Okay. Do you like the way that sounds?
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
I would, well, answer the question first. You're not sure you like it yet, are you?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't understand what to change, but I'm not sure that I like it.
So I'm going to make a suggestion. Make the word ask capitalize, bold, and things unbold. Okay, because think about it. The word things, I mean, how much substance is really in that word? It's not like you're talking about, you know, your wallet or your, right? It's just the word things. It's a noun, it's going to stand out, but it doesn't need to be necessarily bolded. Now, what's interesting about this is you have a word in the beginning of the phrase that pops and then collecting. Ask yourself about the things you're collecting.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
And try it again, but don't forget that the word things and keep have to be longer. Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Things you keep, things you keep, things you keep. Do something physical.
Things you keep. Things you keep. Things you keep. Things you keep
collecting. And then the melody.
Things you, okay. Things you keep collecting.
Things you keep collecting. Do it quietly.
Collecting.
Things you keep collecting. Try it quietly.
Things you keep collecting.
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 And then
things you keep collecting.
Yes.
You keep collecting.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Yes. Now, how does that
again?
sound?
I lost things. Sure. Ask yourself about the things you keep collecting.
Okay. How is that? Because for me, it sounds good.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay.